everyone, this is Burgundy. Welcome to another episode of Yoga Talks. This will actually be a monologue again. Unfortunately, this time I don't know what the setting was, but I didn't do it right. I had a discussion with Jeremy last week that went really well, but unfortunately, I don't have the technical skills just yet to figure out how to fix whatever audio setting I had screwed up. So I'm going to try to summarize. But let me back up first. This discussion that I had, this is a final wrap up to the Ganzfeld Experiment that we tried at the end of April and a few weeks in May. What initiated this for me was reading the book Supernormal by Dean Radin. There's a foreword by Deepak Chopra, and the meat of the book is talking about the writings and the texts from the original yogis, the ancient yogis, that indicate that we all have the innate ability of telepathy, clairvoyance, levitation, knowing when you're going to die, all of these things that we now, today, might perhaps consider to be magic, impossible, whatever. Put your opinion on it. But that with mental practice, with practice, that we might be able to accomplish these things. So that's a very interesting thing to me, because as part of the discussion that I had with Jeremy, and I'm quite open about this with others, I believe in everything. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But truly, when it comes to things of the mind, we do ourselves a big disservice by thinking that certain things are impossible because maybe we haven't even gotten to the point of testing how to make these things happen. Telepathy doesn't seem to be so far off for me. Levitation, I have a hard time figuring out how that can be possible. But, truly, like the concept of mind over matter, I think the initial point in the book that Dean Radin makes is belief. The concept of, for example, these are my words, not his, but the placebo effect. If you think that something's going to heal you or fix you or work, that's a good first step. So having a belief that something like telepathy can happen will sort of encourage you further into being able to make it happen. Okay, so this is just me sort of championing the idea to begin with. However, I do believe that there has to be a way for us to figure out how to make it work. We may not have the technology, we may not have found the part in your brain yet that can make these things happen. I believe that there are animals that probably have the ability to communicate in ways that we don't. There are forces that happen all around us that we cannot see, that maybe we don't have the instruments to detect, and that doesn't mean that they don't exist. So feel free to put in comments, whether or not you agree or disagree. These are my beliefs. However, Dean Radin's book presents experiments and the statistics and the outcomes of all of these things that, I'll be honest, throughout some of the details are mind-numbing. But his point is there are experiments out there that have been done, numerous experiments. The data is there, and the statistics on outcomes, some of these numbers are just as good, if not better, than some other types of experiments that have, for example, been done with medications, and yet they get through the FDA and they get approved with the same level of failures and successes. And so, the argument is it depends on who's paying for it, who benefits from it. And if this is something that there aren't people to support or back, or there are people trying to subvert it, then, it gets pushed under the rug, either purposely or accidentally. So I am not wearing a tinfoil hat here. I'm just stating what is indicated in the book, and, read the book. Find out for yourself. Consider what you believe. So to that end, talking about belief, I posed the question to Jeremy of his thoughts going into the experiment. My original intention was just simply to to see what would happen if we had a person, lying there with headphones, pink noise, red light, ping pong balls over their eyes so they couldn't see, so sensory deprivation. And then somebody else trying to send an image telepathically, trying really hard using, what they think are the abilities to send images to somebody else. And we had some interesting results, and those videos are on YouTube, so you can see for yourself. What's interesting to me is the people that chose to do the experiment, the people that chose to participate, you would assume that on some level they had a belief that this thing was possible. I didn't go through tons of people. We had, I think 6, maybe 8 people total who tried out the experiment. I did not ask the question, do you believe that this is possible? So in asking Jeremy, he comes from an engineering background, scientific background, facts, provable facts. So this kind of a thing challenged his belief system in an interesting way, because it actually made him stop and think, well, why don't I believe that this is possible? And that's exactly what I find interesting about this. That I think is the biggest challenge in this, is not necessarily whether or not we could prove telepathy or achieve it or whatever, but even just challenging your own belief system. Why don't you believe something is possible? Why don't you think something exists? Challenging yourself to dig deeper. Is it because you might feel silly saying that you believe in telepathy? I'll be honest. There are times when I sort of shy away from sharing my complete and honest beliefs about something. I've gotten older. At this point, if you know me, then I believe in everything. If there's something that I disagree with, I'm comfortable with sitting there and discussing it and determining, why is it that I disagree? Or the flip side, why am I so hard-headed as to have the belief? So I think, your beliefs and facing your beliefs goes in both directions. Why do you feel so strongly about something? Or why do you feel so strongly against something? And I think those are important things to evaluate. So Jeremy evaluated. He was in the second round of people to do the experiment. He was a receiver the second time around, and Phil was the sender. There were interesting results, and Jeremy felt that he was he felt like he was close to something. That sort of physical feeling of like the answer or the thing is just beyond this sort of like veil or fog, sort of as he described it, which I find is an interesting thing, because I sort of have that same feeling. It's a little bit of a frustration when you think so much that something is possible. For me, it's the feeling of, I believe that this kind of thing is possible. I really want telepathy to be possible. But for me, it's like, okay, but I don't know where that muscle is. I don't know where that part in my brain is that I need to activate. It's like, for example, telling me to wiggle my ears. I don't know the muscles that you use to wiggle your ears. They're in class, in certain poses, standing poses, I ask people to lift their kneecaps. And that's a movement that some people can't figure out. But when I say just gently engage your quadriceps, they sort of get it, but it's not the same. It's a different muscle. There's a kriya, an exercise that's called Nauli, where you're undulating, I'll use that word, undulating your core muscles, your belly muscles, your abdominal muscles. And talk about needing practice to do that. So anyway, so that for me is kind of that sort of frustration, that like physical feeling of like, if I just knew what I was supposed to be moving in my brain to make this work. But then the thing is that this isn't just an individual thing. So lifting my kneecaps, wiggling my ears, that's just for me to figure out. But telepathy is a two-way thing. And it requires two people to be able to accomplish this thing. That was the discussion. There was more to it, and I apologize that I didn't get to save all of it. But my interest is in just challenging you to expand your beliefs, think about your beliefs. And I don't even just mean when it comes to telepathy or this kind of, Dean Radin uses the word real magic. And I tend to like that. I'm actually using that concept in a couple of books that I'm writing, the idea of real magic, something that's practical, like telekinesis. If I want that pen on the table over there to come to me, the ability to use my mind and impact energy and matter, because there's a very fine line between the atoms and the molecules between myself and the pen across the room. Based on these experiments that Dean Radin poses, it should be possible. These things should be possible. I encourage you to think about, what are the things that you don't believe in? What are the things that you do believe in beyond yoga? Do you think that we would be where we were today if people stuck to their beliefs a century ago? We literally wouldn't be on this continent if these adventurers, explorers, truly believed that the world was flat. Then they found out it wasn't. They did not fall off the edge of a flat earth. If we continued to believe that the sun revolved around us, none of the physics would work with those kinds of equations. Challenge yourself to evaluate your beliefs and have the courage. If there's somewhere where you can expand your beliefs, if you can think outside of the box, think something that you've poo-pooed for some reason, let those thoughts go and see and follow them to their conclusion. Maybe you'll change your mind, maybe not. Doesn't have to be dramatic. Just have the courage to look inward and take a look at your own belief system. So I'll leave you with that. Coming up in Yoga Talks for June 2018, we are going to discuss and practice mudras and pranayama. If you do enjoy these videos and interviews, please consider going to patreon.com/yoga happiness and becoming a supporter. Big shout out to Chris and Nancy, my first two Patreon patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I will continue doing these as long as I can because I'm really enjoying these. Well, have a wonderful week, everybody, and I will talk to you next time.